living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power. We all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart Whispers Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I'm so grateful to be able to bring to you these 20 women, 20 authors of our upcoming book, Heart Whispers. They're here for you, and I know you're here for you too, and I'm happy that you're listening because they are sharing some incredible information, stories of transformation, and guidance for you. You'll learn some things along the way, and each of these authors, each of these interviews that you hear today is going to give you something that you can put into practice probably right away, and it will make a change in your own life. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I'm excited to talk to our next guest, Sue Campanella. She's one of our authors. I'll read a brief introduction of Sue, and then we'll get started talking with her. Sue Campanella is a Reiki master and the owner of Transformations Life Coaching and Healing, LLC. She has a mission to enable clients to be the you were born to be. Sue uses modalities such as the emotion code and body codes to release imbalances that are causing physical pain, emotional blocks, negative mind chatter, and more. She also serves as her clients' accountability partner, teaching them tools so they can empower themselves and shed what no longer serves them. Sue firmly believes it takes a village, and she partners with various physicians to help unlock true healing. And Sue, I'm so happy to talk with you today. How are you?
I'm great, Sue. Thank you. Thank you for having me here and being a part of this amazing collaboration with like-minded women. Building the community, the energy, the power in that is really transformational.
I agree with you. I love it. And that's why we do it, because it's so cool to have that collective energy in a project and focus like this. And we're grateful that you're a part of it. Thanks for that. So Sue, your topic today you chose was release the programming, be the you were born to be, which I love that phrase. We're going to talk about that. But I would like to start with you telling our audience a little bit about yourself and how you became a healer.
Sure. As with anything, it just kind of flows, right? It catches up to you. You don't even realize. And looking at signs when I was growing up, right? When I was growing up, I wanted to be a dental hygienist because my dental hygienist was so beautiful and kind. So that, I don't think many little girls grow up saying they want to be a healer, right? Or a life coach or a Reiki master or anything like that. But when I look back at the signs, they're kind of funny, normal, but hopefully it will help people to kind of look at their own signs, right? Or even young children looking at the signs. So Charlie's Angels was a big show when I was a kid, and I had this detective quality in me. I pretended I was Chrissy. I had a card for myself, and I would go in the backyard and solve all these crimes. And now when I look where that brought me today, that detective instinct, what I do with coaching and with healing, especially with the emotion code and body code modalities, you have to be a detective to see what's happening in the body. Why is there a physical pain or some kind of emotional issue, right? And then a little later in life, when I was in my 20s to early 30s, I was the one that I would go to the ladies' room, and a total stranger would just start talking to me about their challenges. I would be in the ladies' room for like 20, 30, 40 minutes. My husband would be at first be like, I thought someone abducted you. And then he was like, oh, did you get caught in the ladies' room again? But again, didn't know it at the time. But when I look back at it, that I was really meant to help people with their challenges, right? I was becoming a good listener then, even though I didn't really understand why this was happening. And then fast forward when I was officially on my healing journey, because we are all on our healing journey our whole lives, right? But when I had that aha moment, it was another just random, silly happening. I was home by myself, and in the afternoon, decided to watch a movie, which was unusual because I was, as a child, you don't just sit and do nothing all day because then you're lazy. But I said, I'm going to do that. And I saw Under the Tuscan Sun was playing on the TV, and it was a movie I had wanted to see at the movies, but never got a chance to. Again, everything happens for a reason. So I was sitting there by myself watching the movie. And at the end of the movie, Diane Lane's character, she got a divorce she didn't know was coming, moved to Italy, bought a house, had to fix the house up. Her friend came to have her baby with her in Italy, but she really moved to Italy, to have her own, get married, have her own family. And at the end of the movie, she's sitting watching this wedding that's happening with everyone that she loves and loves her, but she's feeling sorry for herself. She has another perspective on what's happening. So her friend comes to her and says, everything you wanted has happened. It's right here in front of you. I get goosebumps every time I say that. And she couldn't understand. And so he said, you built this beautiful house. You have these people that love you, that live with you. Your friend is raising, their child here. And she had that aha moment. I turned that movie off and I had the aha moment. Everything is right in front of me. All the classes I've taken, all the mentors, all the teachers is right here in front of me. I have to step into it. My truth has been laid out. But I was kind of in my uncomfortable comfort zone, right? You're there, you're going, you're doing. So it's the little things that you really need to pay more attention to, like the detective and the ladies' room in the movie, that really pushed me into what I'm doing today. So I knew that I wanted, I really had to help people, but how do I do that? So I got certified as a life coach, and then things, that opens the door, the energy comes in. Reiki came to me because one of my clients as a coach was a Reiki master teacher, and she started to teach. So I became a Reiki master, and then one thing after another, and then the emotion code and body code. And now I really fully understand what it is to live in your purpose, in your truth. And we're always learning, we're always growing. I'm just very blessed that I'm sure I missed a lot of the signs, but they kept knocking me on the head to get me to step forward, and just, we can get comfortable. And it's when you get out of that comfort zone and challenge yourself is when the miracles and the heart, the book is Heart Whispers, when your heart really leads you in what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I know as you were talking, I was thinking about that. It is Heart Whispers. It's the Heart Whispers Summit. The book is Heart Whispers. And that's what you were getting all along, were heart whispers and those little nudges, all those little signs that you're talking about. And it's interesting because now you can look back and say, oh, of course, but along the way, you don't know what you don't know yet. So I think that's really cool. So how long has it been since when was it that you have been a coach? Like, when did you start that journey as a coach?
And that's funny because I feel like I've been doing it forever. So when people ask me that, I have to look on my certifications. How long have you been doing this? About 14 years.
14 years. And so all of this within these past 14 years, does it feel like it was just like this natural progression that took place for you to go from coach to healer and everything that you're doing?
In a way, it felt natural. In a way, it was terrifying because I decided I had to be all in or I wouldn't do it. So I left I was in sales and marketing before, and I left a very, very good, lucrative, steady position. And I talked with my husband, if I'm going to do this, make this change, I have to do it. I have to resign from that and put 100% into, and I'm not recommending that for everyone. You have to look at your life circumstance. But it was something that I had to go through because the fear of lack, am I not good enough? Who am I? Who am I, Sue Campanella, that thinks that I'm still healing myself, that I can possibly help others heal? But there was an inner push, an inner knowing that I was terrified of. So it was probably a good 2 years of really healing myself while I was going through the certification process and figuring out, now I'm certified, what does that mean? How do I begin to get clients? The road that would take, put on a strong, brave face, but, using all my tools to get me through that period of time. And that's what's so great. There are so many tools out there, and some you don't align with. So if it works great for someone else, you don't align with it, it feels like a chore, don't do it. Some people love to journal. Some people just don't like to sit and write or type. Don't do it. There are so many tools out there. And that's one of the favorite things that I like to do, is to empower people with tools. So if they go to me or any other healer, they have tools in their tool belt that they can, like I did going through that terrifying 2-year time, help yourself get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's something different for everybody and it all works. Just depends on who you are and where you are in your circumstances and your life. I love that. Sue, I love this phrase that you have as part of your subtitle here or your title. It says, be the you were born to be. I love that. How did you come up with that?
And that's an interesting story. And again, heart whispers, right? I had this, I don't want to say voice in my head. It was more of a thought when I first started with my certification for life coaching process of help people be who they were born to be before the programming. And when I don't mean like mind programming, but programming that we get from everyone has their perspective, has their beliefs, their negative beliefs. And as we grow, everyone around us does their best, but they do their best with what they have. And then you have, now you have social media. I didn't have that as a child, thankfully. But you have programming all around you, right? So I kept hearing this thought in my head. And so I was like, okay, I hear you, but I don't know how to do that. Coaching helped, right? Help people get to be who they were born to be. And because that's where our truth is, who we were born. We weren't born with all these different ideals or thoughts or anything. So who are we when you ask someone, what is your truth? A lot of us don't know. But when I came across the emotion code and body code, which is releasing negative trapped emotions, negative energies, imbalances in your body, is where it clicked. These are the tools I've been waiting for. Now it makes sense. This thought that kept going in my head, led me, I'm sure, to stumbling upon the emotion code. It just really fell into my lap. And it is, and again, the detective work coming in, right? And helping people understand why they may have a thought pattern, why they may have a physical discomfort, because maybe they have a post-hypnotic suggestion from someone or a negative trapped emotion or negative energies. When you shed those, when you shed negative beliefs that you are maybe raised with or however they got into your mind, that's when you can step into your truth. That's when the beautifulness happens. That's when you really start to have a passion for something, whatever that is, because it's yours, because you've shed what doesn't serve you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes perfect sense. And we all know when we're really being ourselves, living into our true purpose or not. You just know it. You have that sense, that comfort that is just there. It's kind of like, so this is me. And I love that. So let's talk about the other part of this programming. You've mentioned it a couple times. It's in your title. What do you mean by programming and how can we release it?
Yes. When you think about, I have a new 5-month-old grandbaby. So, and I see that in all so new eyes from when I had children, right? Because I have grown so much, learned so much, shed so much. They're born a sponge, right? And we're all born sponges. And our sponge soaks up so many beautiful, wonderful things, but it also soaks up the swampy stuff, And again, everyone does the best they can with where they are, with what they grew up with. But we're not perfect. We're humans, right? We're flawed. So depending on the circumstance you grew up in, who you were surrounded with, even just how much your parents watch the news, right? How much does that news go into the vibration of words, right? Can really affect. So that's how we get programmed. Again, it's not, sometimes I would like a better word than programming, but it really is. It doesn't mean mind control. It doesn't mean that someone, is trying to change your mind or put thoughts in, but it's just through everyday life. People's perspective gets into your system. So you can think of negative beliefs about yourself. For example, if you grew up with siblings and you were all in sports and you were good at sports, and maybe a sibling or two were fantastic at sports, right? And so, oh, well, you're not as good as so-and-so, or, oh, you won't, so-and-so made the all-star team. They didn't do that to purposely make you feel bad, but that can be part of your programming of, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't try it because I won't make it anyway. So when we're able to recognize that through different modalities and release it, that's when we know, like those 2 terrifying years, you know, thankfully I didn't give up. Thankfully, I didn't revert back to my programming. I was in the forward motion of releasing it.
Mhm. Is release something that can happen quickly, or is it something that definitely takes time?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is both. So depending on how long we have been in a situation or what we want to release, you could have chronic lower back pain. I need to release whatever is causing this chronic lower back pain. And you can find out, whatever imbalances are in your body that's causing this, any trapped emotions, negative energies. And then that's all you wanted and go on your way. But that also can open up to a better understanding of how our bodies work and what affects our bodies. It can also open up to things that happened in the past with different modalities. Sometimes age can come in, give you an idea of when this became trapped. And if an age comes up often, then even if you don't remember what happened at that age, because it's energy and energy is so lovely, we can release things even if you don't remember what it is, right? So sometimes that brings you on a further journey. So it's really individual to everyone. And yes, you can learn to release it yourself. And you can go to the fabulous healers that are all around and have a combination of both.
Yep, absolutely. And so let's talk about this. Once you start releasing this stuff that we've been programming with through our whole lives, really, through many well-meaning people too,
Mhm.
but it doesn't necessarily serve us. Once you start releasing it, how do you stay on track with that? Like, does stuff that you've released, can it come back, or how does that work? And how do you stay on track to continue to move forward without it?
Another great question. Yes, when you release it, it doesn't come back. However, you have to look at your habits and patterns in life, right? When you start to release, you can also start to understand why things were brought in. Some, like when we were children, we we can't do anything about. But if you're continuously doing something that in sessions or just in your own reflection, when you have a better understanding, oh, I've released these emotions, I've released this negative energy, I'm still not feeling the way I want to feel. So what are the habits and patterns in your life? Let's take a look at that. What isn't serving you? What are you doing that you're doing because you're in your uncomfortable comfort zone? And that's something where the uncomfortable comfort zone is, we feel comfortable because we know it. And sometimes we don't know how to even step our toe out of that. So we just continue to do it day after day. So with the different modalities and just really reflecting, why is this continuing? Why is this continuing? Getting the proper tools to help you stick that toe out first, and then stick your whole body out, and replacing those habit and patterns with habit and patterns that really serve you, really boost your energy, allow you to walk your path rather than kind of be swayed in other people's path. Perfect example, negative mind chatter. That's a big thing for so many people. So again, habit and pattern. If something comes up, that's a well-worn path in your brain of that negative mind chatter, right? Not good enough, blah, 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 blah. Simply stopping, taking a breath, simply saying out loud what our mind chatter is saying in our head. The verbal word is slower than what's going on in your mind. So that slows it down. Also, a lot of times when you hear it in your own voice, you say, that isn't even true. We've blown something so out of proportion that when we say it and we hear it, and then you can also add to that, is this my reality? Most often it's not your reality. Most often it's something from the past that has just snowballed, and it's not right here in present moment. And present moment trumps everything. That's if there's one thing to take away, it's try to be in present moment as much as possible. Even if you're just looking outside, we were talking about the clouds before, looking outside when you're a kid, you know, what do the clouds look like? That takes your brain away from that nice worn road, that habit and pattern of going down that I'm not worthy, brings you in present moment. What's happening in present moment, not whatever your mind chatter is telling you. So to be able to stay in present moment is a gift that hopefully we can all get to, because the present moment's a beautiful place. It's a much kinder friend than the past.
That's for sure. I know. And so often people do live in the past, and it is tough to release sometimes because it's so ingrained. And yet there are wonderful people out there like you who have these beautiful modalities and techniques and ways to help people. So thank you so much for that. So Sue, I know that there are people here listening that are going to want to be in touch with you and stay connected to you. Can you please tell us how we can do that?
Absolutely. You can go to my website, which is www.tlclifecoaching4u.com. It's a long one, so I'll repeat it. tlclifecoaching4u.com. And there's a contact page there that you can just send me an email. I am not I'm a paper and pencil person. I'm not really techie, so I do like the verbal conversation, you know, because when you are thinking of working with anyone, whether it's a healer, a coach, you want to make sure the chemistry is there. You want to feel good before committing to anything. So I like to have a short conversation, and even something where you don't like someone's voice and now you're committed to an hour working with them, right? So I do like to have that one-on-one, just to make sure that we do want to work together.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love it. And TLC, always a good thing. I love that. Thanks so much. So I'm so grateful that you decided to be a part of this project with us and share your story in the book. It's a great story. I loved reading it. And I know that the authors or the readers will love reading that as well. And I love this time we spent together today. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Sue. And again, it's my privilege, truly, when you can find a community of like-minded women and men. That's where the power is. That's where the energy grows. So thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. And listeners, thank you. You're a part of our tribe too. You're a part of our community now because you're listening. You've invested some time and energy into this. So thank you for doing that and giving yourself this gift. Also, be sure to buy the book, Heart Whispers, on launch day, which is June 22nd. On June 22nd, you go to our website, heartwhispersbook.com. We will guide you to the Amazon page for whatever country you are in. You will be able to get the book, the Kindle book, for 99 cents that day. And when you buy that Kindle book, yes, you'll get these amazing 20 stories and you get some bonus gifts. So you bring your Amazon receipt back to our website, plug it in with your email address, and you will have access to more than 40 gifts from our authors and partners. So that's really just what a deal, what an amazing gift for you. And there's so many great things there. The gifts are things like downloads, meditations, free ebooks, discovery calls with some healers, trainers, coaches, wonderful people. So definitely do that, heartwhispersbook.com. And I wish you all a beautiful day today. Enjoy something and stay in that present moment. Bye for now.